Yes, people. Yes, people. We are back in the building. The big free show. It's only two of us right now. Chino will join us very shortly. A lot to discuss in the NBA this week. I got my guy CM as always in the building. What you saying, my bro?
Blessed to be back another week. Speaking basketball, a whole heap of things are going on. We're getting closer to All-Star break. It's
Woo!
exciting times, man.
Yes, sir.
Exciting times.
I can't wait for the All Star break as well. There will be some content. You know what I'm saying? I gotta figure it out, but there will be some content relating to the All Star weekend because we had a lot of fun last year. I can't lie
Don't
to
know
you.
if you can do that dunk contest though,
I know,
fam.
yeah, we need to find out the participants. Like, I don't want to see people I've never seen really dunk like that in the league. I want to see the real deal in it. Like, we can get ourselves. And man, that Chino's here, bro. Chino, you're here, bro. What you saying?
Man, the Celtics stink.
He's coming for me early, bruv. He's coming for early. Big up Chino, man. Big up Chino. What you saying, my
Man,
Big
bro?
up Chino.
What you saying, my bro?
um, I'm here, man. I'm just trying to get off this workforce, man. Babylon workforce, man. Trying to get out of here.
Oh,
Yo, but no, I'm saying is the Celtics stink. We're
hey,
coming for that number one.
no, no,
We're
no, no.
coming for that number one.
Relax,
What you
relax.
say, my bro, CM? Hey,
Bless
shout out to
Chino, man.
Shay, man, from CM team, bro. They need to give that man the all-star starting
Must be,
position.
bro.
How
Hey,
is Zion starting over Shea,
yeah,
bro?
that's a bit wild. I can't lie, fam. Like Zion getting that spot is a bit wild. Like we got a lot to talk about, man. Like before we do anything, people, though, make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscribe button as well if you're new. Hit that notification bell, follow the socials and all of that good stuff right there. Also, if you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the link. CM's channel is in the title. Also, hit the link for Chino as well because I've tagged his channel in there as well. So go run up them subscribers, man, because I know Chino's going to be starting some stuff very soon. So in the link, make sure you hit those two names. It will take you through to their pages. Hit the subscribe button, and you're all good to go. You know what I'm saying? But see, look, he was talking about number ones and all that. It might be time to just look at the standings real quick before we really do anything and discuss. We don't want to spend too much time on it, but it might be a good idea. So let me just pull up these standings right now so that we can have a look. I got so many tabs open. Give me a second, people. Right, let me zoom in on this and then share my screen real quick. We'll have a look at the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. We go window. Boom. Right. So obviously, as you can see, my team is there at the top. 35 wins, 15 defeats. We're on a losing streak of 3 though. Now, so this is rivals week in the NBA. We've lost all 3 games pretty much. So we had a back-to-back, Orlando and then Miami Heat, and then lost to the Knicks last night. Am I worried? Not really. You can't win every game. Is this the start of a slide? Probably not. We got the Lakers tomorrow. Should be a very interesting game as well. I'm not too sure. The last time we spoke, CM, the Nets were number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They've slipped back a little bit. Do you reckon that's really because of the KD injury and so that quality's not been there?
I definitely think it's derailed their season somewhat. We're seeing some wonderful games from Kyrie Irving right now.
Mhm.
It's great to see him playing basketball on a consistent basis again
Yeah.
because this is what we get to see. But definitely missing out on Kevin Durant, it's gonna hurt them because you're taking away one of their best scorer on their team,
Mm.
a guy that can play defense. He can facilitate and do a lot of things for their side, and you need someone else to step up alongside Kyrie at least offensively, and that hasn't been that. You look at a lot of people are kind of getting onto Ben Simmons again because
Mm.
his lack of aggression and scoring, and people are saying he's kind of taken a step back in that regard, even though he's playing good defense. I have to shout out a man like Nick Claxton, who I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, man, I think they'll be fine once KD gets back. They just need to steady the ship because they
Mm.
lost to Detroit the other night.
Mm.
So, that's a tough loss that maybe if you have KD, it doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Man, Chino, I don't know if you're there, but we need to speak about your Heat, man. Like a few weeks ago, they were looking like it was looking a bit shaky. They was going to be in the play-in, like and whatnot, but they've stormed their way into sixth position, bro. So talk to me,
bro.
like, talk to me,
We're
man.
so trash, bro. Bro, literally, if Bam dislocated his finger tonight, bro, we're done for.
Hey,
He's
wait,
he's
why are you
carrying
manifesting this?
because Pat Riley need a wake up call, bro. Because
Yeah.
Bam is carrying the team, bro.
Mm,
Like he's literally carrying the team by himself, bro. We're garbage.
mm.
Like Jimmy ain't even like Jimmy. He don't care about regular
Regular
season
season. Yeah.
basketball. He's like, just get me to the playoff, and I'll tell you hold my beer.
Mm,
But yeah, Bam just been playing out of this world, man. Like the stats say it all, bro. Like he's not in the top three defensive player conversation at the moment, but in the NBA all season, Miami have the number one defense when he's on the court.
mm.
There's no other team better than us when Bam is on the court. Like we literally go from the best defensive team when he's on the court to the worst defensive team when he's off the court. And offensively, he's been different this season.
Yeah.
Like he's been different, and then in the media too, he has been talking in the media because y'all know Bam. He's not a talking person. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he's not in the man. Been saying, "Yo, yeah, I've been telling. I need more touches. I need the ball." Like I'm like, yo, he's dead serious about this thing. Like yeah, and now Spo, like you know me, Roland. I've always said Spo hold back Bam.
Yep.
There's multiple times me, you, and CM on here doing watch-alongs, and I'm
Yep.
telling you, man, like Spo holding back. But even now, Spo is saying he's opening up. He's realizing like
Mhm.
this guy can hoop. Like if I give him the touches, he can hoop. He's the number one like in the NBA right now. He have the most pinpoints. Like
Mm.
he have the highest field goal um, percentage around the rim. Like he's ridiculous, and these are not like Rudy Gobert just lob dunk or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Time Lord. Like these are like give me the ball, get to the elbow, pull up midi. Like
Mm.
he's just hooping out of this world. Obviously, you know this, Roland, because he got a taste of it. When was
Yeah, I seen it, and I was just
it?
I was just like, 'cause obviously, I'm not like watching the Heat like so extensively like how you do, but when you've mentioned in previous times that Spo needs to loosen the reins, maybe switch him from the 5 to the 4, let him get up the court and get involved in the attack, bro. Like, and I'm just like, I saw that fourth quarter he took over.
Yeah, bro, I'm
And
telling you.
we're gonna discuss it in more detail. But fourth quarter, I was watching it, bro, and it got to a certain point. I was like, it's late, bro. It's like Tuesday night. Let me turn this off. I need to go to sleep, bro, because I know we're gonna lose this game, bro. Let me just go to sleep. I turned it off, bro, and I went to sleep because I was like, yo,
Like,
because I seen JT go off the court, and I was like, yeah, because he's played a back to back. He's tired, and he's been carrying us up until this fourth year,
yeah,
and like you're within 5 points of us. Like, and then Bam said, give me the ball. And then just started doing his thing. And then it was over, bro. Like, so yeah, it's a madness. It's a madness. But all right, let's move on to the Chicago Bulls. Now find themselves out of playoff contention at this moment in time. Is that a bit of a surprise to you guys, or has this slide been coming because of, let's say, some of the injury problems they've been having? Obviously, especially with Alonzo Ball. I've seen some images, some videos of him running again. I believe he's back on the court, not with the team, but individually. So what do you think about the Chicago Bulls, guys?
I think it's been coming for them. Or like I've been watching a few like Bulls fans over the course of this season, and for the most part, they just haven't been happy with the makeup of the team. They've wanted to change it up and see if they can make some trades. Obviously, injuries have hurt them at times, but also I just think last season or their first season when they had that great start and they kind of just went down, got to the playoffs, and it didn't end up well for them in the end of the day. It was almost reaching their ceiling point, and you needed to make a change. I think this season, Chicago fans are wanting to make a change, but what change are you gonna make? Are you gonna trade DeRozan after he was being your guy for a while? Vucevic, he's had some good games this season, but for the most part, I think a lot of Chicago fans would say that we shouldn't have traded for Nikola Vucevic,
Mm.
and that's the harsh truth about it. Zach LaVine, he's been a bit up and down on and off the court this season as well. So a lot of things haven't gone Chicago's way. And I just think, on paper, you look at the team that they have, if they're all fit, and you say, yeah, they can definitely compete. But there's as we know in basketball, there are so many things that can take you away from that on paper look, and injuries, inconsistencies, not playing the same that you'd expect from a Chicago team at times, defensive effort. All of these things factor into why they're in that position.
Yeah. Just a special mention for the 76ers because they've done really well over the last few weeks, and I've been watching them. They're on a 6-game winning streak. I've been watching them, I think from Christmas onwards, I've been watching them, right? And I said to myself, yo, Doc Rivers has turned this around, because a few weeks ago we were saying, hey, he's on the brink. Like, he's going to get sacked, and then like they're going to have to start again and all of this. Obviously, James Harden, injury problems, was they reoccurring again, but it looks like he's back in full health again. Embiid starting a bit slow at the start of the season, back into his kind of regular MVP numbers kind of bag. Like, and then obviously some of these role players, or some players have actually started to step up a little bit. So DeAnthony Melton has been balling out of his skin right now. Like, I've watched games personally and seen him do a lot more than I've seen him do, especially from last season. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey, big jump again, third season now in the league. So like, I love to see him when he's on the court, because he's showing a different range across all of his offensive package. Like, he's shooting from free. Obviously, we know he's a rim runner as well. So it's like it's a no-brainer why and then obviously he works really hard, and I think he enjoys basketball just as a game. So he's willing to learn as much as possible, and he's got some good teammates that can help him learn, and a very good coach that can help him learn. So special shout out to them. But Chino, I'm gonna come to you next, right? Western Conference, it's starting to take shape a little bit. The Nuggets are solidifying themselves top spot. With Jokic MVP, can he go for another one? The Grizzlies right in there, but beneath them. But then a surprise in the Kings, or maybe it's not a surprise, bro. So like, what do you think, man? Like, of the Western Conference makeup so far?
Hey,
Gino,
I'm trying to get some Kings ticket, my boy, because
hey, nah, you're funny. He's funny. Nah, you said you're excited to go see them play. You are funny, fam. Nah, you make me laugh, bro. Because Chino lives like around that side of it.
Hey, I'm driving home though, real quick. But what I want to say real quick is, Ja, how stupid does Ja look? Oh, I ain't worried about nobody in the West.
Wait. It's big talk, man. So early on in the season and all of that. Hey, Chino, you get home safe in it. When you get home in it, jump back on it. Get on safe. But CM, what's your thoughts on the makeup of the Western Conference? And we'll stop here, and then we'll move into the actual topics for tonight.
It's very interesting. When at the start of the season, I was very high on this Denver team, because I was like, we haven't really seen all of the guys healthy for a couple years, probably since the bubblish times. Them times there, and they're playing well and they're winning games. Memphis, they're gonna be one of those teams up there, and how they've developed over the last few years. Sacramento, like you said, a surprise team who are competing every night, and they're giving themselves a reason to be in that position. And it's crazy to see them in a third seed after so many seasons of just missing out, not being able, and it looks like finally they're gonna be able to get back to the playoffs this year. You have to shout out the Pelicans as well, because they've had so many injury troubles of late. B.I., Zion, and others as well, and they've been able to somewhat, even though they're on a 6-game losing streak, they've been able to somewhat hold it together. The Clippers are silently doing some work there as well.
Yes,
they're just rolling on their own lane. And looking at the play-in, Golden State there is really the biggest shock of them all. But we've kind of spoken about them and how they've struggled at times this season to integrate some of their young guys and their older guys as a group. Last time out, getting that win against Memphis though, and that was a good game within itself. Phoenix, they've had their troubles. LA, even though they're the 13th seed, it's funny because they're on their way up. obviously made their trade that we'll speak about in a bit, but they're on their way up. It's going to be interesting to see how they could possibly try and find some form and make their way possibly into the play-in bracket. But yeah, OKC, I have to give a little shout out to my team as well, because we're winning games, we're competing, and it looks like, you know, after all of that talk of tanking and just letting it go, we may be trying to get into the playoffs through the play-in. So that's going to be an interesting one. And a lot of our guys already have that playoff experience. So not saying if we do get there that we're going to do anything crazy, but it's just good to give the young guys that experience, like that year that we had with CP, where Shea, Lou Dort, they had that experience against Houston before they got knocked out. So yeah, a lot of interesting ones there. And you know what? The final team I'm going to speak, the Houston Rockets, because it's a damn shame what's happening to the Houston Rockets, man. The culture, from what it sounds like, I remember a few weeks ago we spoke about the Eric Gordon comments briefly and what you said about the team not developing. And it just seems like they don't have the characters, they don't have the culture there to really get those young players fully focused and work on their craft. It just seems like right now it's, you know, whether it's Jalen Green, I'm going to take these shots, but the players are not developing like you want them to. You want a Jalen Green not just to be a guy that when he gets the ball, I'm taking unlimited dribbles and I'm going to take my shot. You want to look at your teammates, facilitate the game, play for your team. And there are other guys as well. I'm not just saying it's Jalen Green, but he is really that headline player. Kevin Porter Jr. as well, Şengün, those other guys. And there are promising moments that you see from the team, but right now, they like, if you ask a lot of the fans or whatever, they may be down in the dumps because they're losing a lot of games. And on one hand, it's like, okay, we might be in the chance of the sweepstakes of getting the top picks or whatever. But you want to see those young guys improving. I look at Memphis and how a few years ago, you get those young guys like Ja Morant, that young core, how they've developed into a great team. You can see that with almost Sacramento, even though they've made a few changes, trades here and there, you can see some of the young guys developing. In so many of these teams, you want those young guys to develop. Golden State, some of their guys in Jordan Poole, so many teams across the association. And right now, Houston, you need to find a set culture where you can almost regain that credibility and help those young guys to develop even more.
Yeah, man. I mean, made some interesting comments. One that was flowing under the radar, the Clippers one. Obviously, they've finally been able to get PG and Kawhi on the court together, healthy, and that's what's contributed to that 4-game winning streak for themselves. Hopefully they can stay healthy, and obviously free agency is coming up, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens after this season with those two guys in the team. So I'm sure we'll be speaking about that as the season goes on and all of that. And obviously, Houston Rockets, another good point from yourself. There was obviously a video that I seen, also a clip of video of John Wall speaking about, you know, his experience down in Houston and talking specifically to those young stars that they can't necessarily, be accustomed to losing, because that's not going to help their development as they go on. And then obviously John Wall made a lot of other statements as well, but we'll go into it and all of that a little bit later on in other shows and stuff. But yeah, that is the picture right now. We spent about 20 minutes on that, maybe a bit too long, but we can move into the actual topics. Let me just stop sharing this. Chino's on his way home. When he gets home, I'm sure he's going to jump back in. But let's start off with the first topic for tonight, and that is Damian Lillard dropping 60 against the Utah Jazz. He's now third. He's tied third for the most 60-point games all time, with obviously Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, ahead of him. So, for him to do this again in this Portland team, like, the question I have, right, is time running out for Dame to win a championship? Because we've known, it's well documented, there's been a number of rumors for him to potentially be traded and moving somewhere where he can potentially win that first elusive ring. He's also come out and said that he wants to be the staple piece within that Portland side that goes on to wins a championship, and that at times he's actually also come out and said he needs a bit more help, and it's not really come. The organization have not, contributed to that. So the question is the time running out for Dame?
I definitely think so. I know a lot of people that will probably say his time has run out as long as he stays loyal to Portland and needs to move on. Last few years, we've had those hashtag free Dames and all of them stuff there, but he stayed loyal to the organization, and he stayed true to his comments and wanting to stay in Portland and try and build there. Obviously, I don't think their roster's that bad. You got guys like Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart and Cole. They have a good team. Nurkic, who is a solid player, but maybe not of the level that you would probably want, or even the development that you expected out of a player like Nurkic hasn't been there over the years due to injuries and other stuff like that. But, Damian Lillard, it's always wicked to see him go off like this, because when he gets hot, he's going to be hitting step back threes, sidestep, getting to the rim, mid-range J's. He has a variety of plays in his bag, and it's always good to see him. So 60 points, 380 points over his last 10 games. So he's really been exploding in that regard in this Portland team, where they really need it from him. Because if you look at where they are, they're 12th in the West or something like that. And, not a great position considering the team. And I think they're better than that, to be honest. But at the same time, the West is so competitive. The NBA is so competitive right now, where, you can't take a game for granted overnight. Every single team's going to be competing up against you. And I think in regards to that, the NBA has probably been the most competitive it's been in quite a while with the regular season. But yeah, in terms of Portland, it's a sticky one, because I don't think if they want to win a championship, I don't think it's going to be with Portland. That's the only problem, because and people speak about this all the time, attracting free agents, attracting players, making trades, or do you have the players that are attractable to other teams? And maybe Portland just don't have that, and it's hard to get those assets. It's hard to become an attractive team if you're not in a big market. You have to have so many things go your way, and sadly that hasn't been the case. They've had guys like LaMarcus Aldridge in the past who's left and gone elsewhere to try and better themselves. So Dame has been the only one, except for CJ, who stayed there apart from the trade. But those two before, and now it's only Dame. So now they're trying to build something. Him and Anthony Simons together on the court. It hasn't clicked all the time. There's promise there, but with Dame getting older and older, how many more years are you gonna get with this elite scoring? And how many years are you gonna have to wait for those young guys to develop, and obviously the guys to make up the team, the makeup of the team, for you to get to that level where you can get to the players, compete for the championship and get to the finals? Is it ever gonna happen?
Yeah, man. I mean, you make some really good points. I'm gonna come back with some interesting ones as well. But I'll get into the comments first, because we've left them out for a good chunk of the show. Big up Bobby in here. Thank you for the love here. Big up Super Nick. As always, thank you for the support. As always, we appreciate it so much. See, I'm coming in here with the pros only. Big up Errol as well, from the United Agenda. So make sure you subscribe over at the Man United Agenda. And big up yourself for the love. Big up Eddie as well. He says, good evening, guys. I'm dropping a like. I need to catch up with basketball. Is Kyrie Irving still balling out? He's a favorite of mine. He is. He definitely is. He's fired his way into the all-star team as a starter. We're going to discuss that in a bit of time. But yeah, he's balling right now for sure. Big up yourself, Eddie. Make sure you go subscribe to Eddie's Football Waffle as well. He's dropping videos as regularly as he can as well. Man, like Jizzy in here, the biggest hater, fam. Look what you said. What's up, Paul Nolly Sport, bro? Look at the biggest hater, fam. The biggest hater of all time, fam. You and Pat Bev are on the same level. That's why you support the Lakers, fam. Mad thing. What happened to Tatum last night? I ain't speaking about that last night, bro. We on a 3-game losing streak. It's a bit peak right now. I can't lie. Hopefully we can get it back against your team tomorrow, but we'll see in it. We'll see. Big up, man, like Ferbs in here. UFTV. Make sure you go subscribe to UFTV as well, man. Ferbs is trying to drop as much content as he can. You know what I'm saying? Especially with all the family and everything around. But yeah, man, big up to Ferbs and all of that good stuff right there. Big up to the community same way. Come on. in terms of Dame, like I feel like he is running out of time, and like I understand, him trying to be loyal and trying to like, build or be a part of a championship winning team, kind of similar to Giannis, being traded to the Bucks and then it's taking time and development of that squad to get to that position. And obviously, we can speak about it being a bit of a funny season in itself, and they were the healthiest team and winning that championship. But time is running out for him. I feel like, yeah, their team isn't bad. Like when I look at their team, it's not that bad. Like Nurkic, as you said, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, and then Anthony Simons. Like those guys as a five, right? Like together with Dame, it's like that's a good starting five. But I'm looking at the bench and I'm like, the role players, they need to offer more because that's generally because I can't see them, getting rid of one of that starting five for another piece that won't like detrimentally like damage their squad essentially. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because you got two young talented players in there who you could get rid of and bring in a piece, but will it upset the chemistry of the team? That's the thing. And it's like you did touch on a good point with those young players where there's kind of an expectation from the organization that those young players within that starting five have to make giant leaps, and that comes with obviously playing basketball, right? Because we've seen a lot of young players across the league, just because they've got time on the court, the leaps are there. Like these guys are professionals. They've earned their way to get to the league. Like, so they have to play in order to continue to develop. They can't just do it all in the gym. So it's a tough one for me, man. I don't know what the organization can do to kind of, do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bit of a tough one. I mean, but yeah, time is definitely running out because he's getting older. He's getting older, but he's still putting up this elite scoring, as you said. And it's like, is it a waste? For all of these points that he's scoring and you're not really going anywhere with it. Like, I mean, it's a shame, but hopefully it works out for Dame either way. He goes somewhere potentially and, they blow it up and start again over at Portland and he goes somewhere he could potentially compete for a championship, or they do something. If it's either, getting rid of one or two of their players, whatever it needs to be, getting some role players to kind of bolster the squad and the depth of it, the quality of it, to try and help them push them up the ladder in the West and whatnot, to try and compete with some of those teams in the playoff positions and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty interesting on that level. Let's move on. So Steph Curry was ejected for throwing a mouthpiece. DeJounte Murray received a tech for shouting a good call to a referee in a game in this past week. Joel Embiid received a double tech, I believe, in the game against the Nets, just for chirping, just competitive stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're at the heat of the game. These are big rivals and whatnot. But my question here is: are referees making ridiculous errors in judgment when handing out techs or ejections? Like, we've been speaking about referees on so far, but like, what's your thoughts on this, bro? Like, it's getting ridiculous now, don't you think?
Definitely, bro. It definitely is, and I'm sick and tired of it. Preparing for this show, I read a little article, and it suggested that possibly referees are relying on the rule book too much to the point where it's almost overcomplicating the game. They're making errors, and this is the thing. When we have stuff, we see all the time in football with VAR, but when you have things like reviews and the usage of that has increased over the years since it was introduced in the NBA, where they're using it in clutch time for different kind of plays and stuff like that to review fouls, whether they should be put up as a hostile act or whatever. But when you use that, humans are still going to make errors. And the problem is they're making errors and they're getting ridiculed for it. But the problem comes like, and these stuff like, when it comes to the rule book, like we've seen in the past few years, dunks, like posters, they get called for charges. And people are like, come on, that could have been one of the best dunks of the year. And you're calling a charge on that. So simple stuff like that. Dribble moves being called as travels or double dribbles. Yes. We've seen stuff that have been a bit debatable in the past, but in the NBA, some things get called, some things don't get called, and some people say, oh, it's to do with the player's reputation or something like that. I think this season we've seen a lot of like calls when it comes to it being in the paint for too long, opposition teams, defensive 3 seconds, all of that stuff there where you don't usually. There's so many inconsistencies, and a lot of people just want referees to think for themselves at times, because even if like I don't know the insides and outs of this whole thing and the discussions they have before a season, during a season, after a season, but we're seeing this in so many sports where they're trying to drag the emotion out of the game. Now, I don't watch sports like American football and stuff like that. I watch football, football and basketball. And those two sports in particular, when a player wants to show their emotion, they get penalized for it.
Yeah.
You know, even more so in basketball. You want to shout, you want to celebrate. In this case, throwing your mouthpiece, you're getting ejected for that. It's a piece of plastic. It's a piece of plastic. How is it going to harm somebody? It's a piece of plastic and you're getting thrown out of the game. I'd understand if somebody picked up a chair, dashed it into the crowd, if they picked up a basketball and lasered it into the... But it's a mouthpiece. Come on. And like, in regards to like the chirping with a referee, like it's the emotions. It's a player's... Are you expecting a player to go to a basketball game and say if they get they get called on a foul and they don't agree with it? You just expect them to stay
just silent, bro? Like
just like, no, you're gonna have a conversation. Some things are gonna be heated in the battle, some things are gonna be a lot more calm, but referees need to deal with that. And if they don't want to deal with it, then they're in the wrong job, which is why I don't understand, because year in, year out, fans complain about this stuff. Adam Silver has to hear it. He has to hear it. But still, there are no changes in the rule. It's like you want to just push this onto the players, because wipe the fans out of it altogether. Think about how the players feel sometimes out there. When, like, I remember a few years ago, when the Lakers players were defending James Harden with their hand behind his back because they were afraid of getting that 3-point foul. Like, things like that, it just shows that the NBA is not doing a good enough job to make the players feel comfortable enough to express themselves on a basketball court. And you can't do that in sport. I don't know if you're trying to make this some kind of family-friendly thing, but listen, nothing's fully family-friendly. There's going to be some bad words cussed now and then. Yeah. I went to a football game the other day. They try and say football's family-friendly. When you go on the terraces, man are cussing bad words like no other.
Yeah, trust me, it's not family-friendly, word.
Yeah, we knew you went to a football game, because we dropped points that game. So you don't have to bring that again.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, Chino, because you know you got the tax, man. We know you got the tax, man. Don't do that.
No, CM and Brush got the tax, bro.
No. Not Mr. Chino tax, man. Don't do that.
Yo, Chino, I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this, on this topic,
on
right?
What?
Referees are getting calls wrong, and they've some outrageous calls. So you saw, I'm sure you saw Curry got ejected for throwing his mouthpiece. Yeah, DeJounte got a T. DeJounte got a T for shouting at a referee. Good call. So like, yeah, that's a good call, and then gave him a little clap, bruv. And then like I saw Embiid get a double tech against the Nets, and that, like, just for chirping with Nick Claxton. Like, after, because they was going at it in that game, I can't lie to you. But like, what's your thoughts on all of these referees like getting too involved in the game? Like CM says, maybe going by the rule book a bit too much, and getting wrong calls and ridiculous type of calls going on.
It's just like police, bro. They're abusing their authority, bro. Because man said the ref called him. Who was it? B-A N-word. And
wait, what?
Nah, yeah. Who was it? It was a superstar. Who was it? One of the guys said the ref called him a B-A. And
wait. Which ref though? It must have been Gucci Mane though, yeah.
Either Gucci or Tony Brothers.
Tony Brothers. Yeah, it had to be one of them two.
Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer
yeah.
Dinwiddie.
Yes. And Like, yeah, these refs, they're doing things and getting away with it, and it's ridiculous because, like I said, like a guy like Jimmy that I watch every night when he is playing and not sitting out. Jimmy doesn't complain a lot,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't. He will be getting foul, but he plays. He will play through it. He will play through it. He will play through it. But when you finally call the foul, he would like yell, like they've been doing this to me, and you just now, and ref would tee him up for that. And
Yeah.
it's like, what? What's the T for? Like he's just telling you, like you haven't been calling his fouls. He ain't cussing at you, or if you shout like not towards them but indirectly towards them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They tee you up. So like CM said, they have too much authorities, man, and I think they're abusing it. Like Adam Silver needs to redefine the rules. Like yeah, you want the game to be clean and child kids. Sometimes a lot of rich people or like kids get ticket, make a wish, and they're sitting courtside and these type of things, and they're kids, you know. Yeah, you don't want them to be hearing these cussing and stuff like that. But most times, like this is basketball, this is high level sports. Like,
Mm.
excuse me, you think man just out there all holy, like praise God, like, oh man gonna be like, F yeah, and one. Like and things, certain things like that. Sometimes
Yeah.
they give people attack. Like,
Yeah.
bruh,
True.
it's just emotions, it's raw emotion. But yeah, I think the refs they need to get some of their privilege stripped from them, and some the tech they need to easy on the tech sometimes.
Mm.
I think like I was telling you, might know how I feel about Adam Silver, bro. Like,
It's true.
God, take him and give us back David Stern. Listen,
You can take it, bro. Nah, bring it back.
listen.
Nah.
The thing is, right? Adam Silver, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I think he have good intentions.
Mm.
But you know, when you're trying to make something perfect that you shouldn't, and it's ending up ruining the game. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
all these,
Mm.
he's trying his best to make it as perfect as possible.
Mm.
But sometimes some things don't need to be touched. Just leave it and fix other things. And I think he just needs to chill out sometimes. Like that big ball head, he got to be working too much. Hey, I be calling people bald head on here, and the host is bald. Roland, no disrespect though. You know
Nah,
I like
nah,
your bald, bro.
nah, nah, no, no, hey, nah, no offense taken, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing crispy, fam. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, your thing, nice and slick
My thing,
down.
my thing crispy, fam. You know what I'm saying? No offense at all. None taken. Like, you know what I'm
But
saying?
yeah, man. But yeah, sometimes Adam Silver need to just chill, bro. But yeah, the rest need to get their privilege taken. That's all I gotta say.
Cool, man. I'm gonna give my opinion, but I'm just gonna go through some more comments because a few more have come through, man. Big up, man. Like,
And we need to get to Bam cooking the Celtics
yeah,
already.
we're getting there. Relax, man. Big up, man. Like Botswana in that building. What you saying, my bro? Big up Moss as well. He says the Raps might beat San Fran tonight. Maybe you never know. Did you see what Embiid did? Yeah, I saw that. He did the old school DX. Suck it. Yeah, I remember that as well. Back in the days, he's trying to bring it back still. Yeah, I saw that. Man, I was wrong in the East, but right in the West. Nuggets and OKC and Memphis moving and grooving. Yeah, the East is a bit of a shake-up, man. Obviously, I did say last season everyone should just watch out for Cleveland, and then all of a sudden, D Mitch comes in and is like, hey, it's a problem now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then obviously they've let go of the guy. He's gone to the Jazz, and he's cooking as well, marketing. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. If they kept him, it would have been crazier. But you know, is what it is. Even sad the Sack Kings are back. The Rats beat them down though.
Roland, real quick,
Yeah.
before I forget, because I know you're going through the comments, but you say if they kept marketing, right? Sometimes you have to look at it. In the Jazz, there's no superstar. He can get as much touches as he wants. He can get the ball in his hand and he can do his work.
Mm.
And that's why he's getting his points and his bucket and his cooking.
Mm.
But put him into Cleveland team now with D. Mitch on the court, Jerlin on the court, Mobley on the court. All these guys. And then Kevin Love off the bench, if he's coming off the bench with Kevin Love, he's just going to be a statue in the corner. He's coming off the bench with LeVert too.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah,
he's not going to get as much touch. So he won't get, like I've always said, even a guy like Tobias Harris, right? You take him out of this Philly team and put him into a Jazz team, I think he can put in a similar number like the what marketing is doing. Some guys, they're just made for that. Like they're not good role players, but they're a good guy to have on a team that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's like the thing about it is, you see, when you talk about sport, yeah, and you're looking at players, right? Because me and CM were mentioning it before, like before we started, about when you give, well, no, during the start of the stream, where basically if you give young players like an opportunity to play, they showcase what they can do. So surely, the Cleveland coaching staff knew, hey, we've got somebody here. It's just how best can we utilize him, and then obviously you have to make a decision as an organization. What are you going for? They want to win in the land, innit? So they've brought in an extra piece who, even at the time when they brought him in, we didn't know how that was going to work with him and Garland, because obviously they have to now share the responsibility at the point. So, like, marketing having to leave as part of that deal was obviously an easy piece for them to let go, because obviously, as you said, they've got LeVert, they've got Mobley, they've got Jared Allen, they've got who else they got? Obviously Garland and that. And then obviously, yeah, they got Kevin Love off the bench, and then they got a few more extra players than that. But like,
Wade, not Dwayne, Dean Wade.
huh?
They got a player named Dean Wade. He's one of the role
D Wade, He's one of their role players. Sorry, yeah. I was confused. I was like, what? You not Dwayne, bro? No,
not Dwayne.
Not Dwayne. No.
Dwayne
He was
never.
there. He was there.
No, he never played for the Cavs.
He did. He was there briefly.
No, he was not.
We got that iconic meme from D Wade in Cleveland, family. If you know, you know.
Him and LeBron. LeBron looking at him like, you're getting traded in the morning.
You get traded, man. You got to go. What you're doing here, but you got to get out of here, fam. But let me get back into these comments, man. Chino, thank you for that still. Armin saying, referring to what CM is saying, I'll never forget Abubakar's second yellow card against Brazil at the World Cup. Man got penalized for celebrating a goal against the number one team in the world. Yeah, Uncle Abubakar got that yellow card. He was like, look, I'm leaving with something. He did the Sue, and then he did the Messi celebration in one go and got sent off. Mad thing. I was fuming when we were watching that. I was like, Uncle, why are you doing this right now? Bro, because it could have changed. Then you could have been in the last 16, bro. And then now you're not playing, but nah. But yeah, But yeah, it's true, man. About emotions in the game, like you kind of have to let the players feel their emotions, man. They're human beings as well.
Hey, that team that replaced him with Ronaldo.
No, let's not, please. I'm begging, please, bro. Don't, because I've seen the thing. Yeah, it's so funny. It's now very funny. But hey, we'll speak about this later.
No, you know what though? Us three need to do a football show, because Ten Hag is cooking. We need to do a football show, bro. Because man trying to diss my manager, Like, Ronaldo, yes, you are my goal. I appreciate you. But listen, bro, don't come for my manager, big man, because you is finished out here. You is a finished baller, bro. You are done.
Yeah, he's a dusty. He's looking dusty right now. But we'll move it. We'll think about doing something soon. Still, big up Manjay in here, man. He says big up Roland, CM and Chino. First saying, man, like Trey, CM Palace. Hey, Palace, yeah. I mean, like, we've moved on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've moved on. We're basically going to Wembley. You know what I'm saying? Whenever CM does a watch along now, we win games, innit? So this is what I'm saying. I've been there. I've been part of them, and the ones I've seen, we won in it. That's what I'm saying, innit? Because you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Moss saying refs getting worse and relying on video too much. The Tony
We didn't,
Brothers was the
we
guy.
didn't win the one he went to live though. I'll tell you that.
I'm not involved. I wasn't part of that. But you know what I'm saying? We move. Yeah, Pause Patrol is on to you, fam. LeBron James. Oh, Nassau. I shouldn't have sold a boot. Yeah, bro. I can't even lie to you. Get me on the football show on the day. But let's not talk about last Sunday. We need football to. Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, we've got to try and figure something out. It would be hilarious if we could do that still. Yeah, I think it might be interesting. Let's see if we can work something out. We'll talk off camera and see if we can figure something out in terms of timings and all of that and scheduling and all that. It might be interesting if we did something like that still. But yeah, just back to this. Then we'll move on to the next topic. So yeah, the refs are moving a bit mad. Like just the way they're handing out text. Like Chino, you summed it up perfectly. They need to just ease up on these texts because like they're giving a tech for anything, literally anything. You could look at a ref incorrectly and it's a tech, literally. Or you're not even talking to a ref. You're just frustrated with the play and how it's just kind of ended up, and you get a tech. Like they need to kind of go back to the drawing board on this. Yeah, and you're right, both of you guys, like in terms of just stripping back some of the responsibilities, privileges that these refs have. Let the players feel the emotions how they have to. I understand the balance that they need to, uphold as role models, essentially, even though we shouldn't really be putting sports people as role models, like because they are human beings and they make a lot of mistakes. We've seen that throughout the history of the NBA. So many different stories of players doing a lot of mad different things. And so, yes, they should be allowed to have their moments of madness in certain times, in certain situations. The referees need to ease up. I think they do rely on Moss said it earlier, they do rely on video a lot as well. Like, so sometimes I kind of wonder to myself, like, if I saw that call before you saw it, why are you having to go and review it on video? Like, it's pretty clear as day. You don't even need to do anything, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a murky water with that, but hopefully Adam Silver can go back to the drawing board and try and reduce that, because next season would hope to have a bit more of a progressive way of refereeing the games where we're not giving out text for somebody being frustrated, like, because that's a madness. Like somebody threw their, as you said, to plastic mouthpiece on the floor, nothing to do with the referee at all. I'm just frustrated. I'll throw it on the floor and I get ejected for it. It's crazy.
And the worst part about that is the reason why he was frustrated is because his own teammate took a bad shot.
Yeah, literally. He's my own teammate, bruv. It's mad, bruv. Like, it's not even aimed at anybody else. It's literally because, bro, we need to win, and I want to win as much as possible. So everything has to be on point. And like, I'm a competitive person, but I'm angry right now, so I'm throwing my thing in frustration. Like, it's crazy. But hey, let's see what happens in the near future for that. But let's move on. Nick Claxton, he's in the form of his life right now for the Brooklyn Nets. He's playing the best basketball of his career so far. Where does he end up for the season? There's been shouts of him, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA defense, first team or second team. What are you, man, thinking of Nick Claxton's kind of rise to prominence and his improvement? And then two, where do you think he ends up? Can he maintain this form and end up becoming Defensive Player of the Year, or at least be one of the two NBA All defensive teams?
I see him go first. What's up?
Yeah, I can definitely see at the end of the season he's the All NBA in defense, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I know right now Triple J is getting a lot of love in that regard for the Defensive Player of the Year rankings, but Claxton has to be up there just with his improvements defensively for Brooklyn, really anchoring that defense. And he spoke about it not long ago, just saying how he wants to continue to improve and doesn't really want to limit himself. And that's the good sign for a player like him, in Brooklyn. You want guys that are going to support KD, Kyrie, for example. And Nick Claxton, he's a guy who wants to improve. He wants to get better. He spoke about wanting to become a two-way guy. becoming an all-star, being a better free throw shooter. And it all starts with that work ethic, working in those summer times where it's just you, maybe a couple friends, sometimes even you by yourself, just working on your game, working on your craft. And that's what we love to see. You shooting 73% from the field, which is crazy efficiency. And obviously, we speak about him expanding his game, averaging career highs in multiple areas. So the only way is up for him if he continues to work hard. And definitely, I can see Defensive Player of the Year shouts, All NBA on defense. But yeah, it's credit to him and credit to the Brooklyn Nets for developing and going in on a guy like that, because I remember not long ago they had guys like DeAndre Jordan who was kind of trying to hold down the fort, but as he was declining, he wasn't really there. So it's good that they've been able to bring through a guy, Nick Claxton, and really develop him. And it's good on him that he's taken it upon himself to work hard to be better for this team. And he is a crucial part of this side right now.
Yeah. Chino, what's your thoughts on Nick Claxton?
Listen. Yeah, I hear you, CM. I'm kind of over the I hear you, but I'm not listening, bro. I'm not having it. I'm kind of over the defensive player of the year conversation. I'm over it, like Jermon Green said too, bro. It doesn't make no sense, bro. Year after year, they change the criteria because now they're putting JJJ in there, right? The guy missed the first 2 months of the season, for one. For two, he's been playing 26 minutes, 27 minutes per game. Why? Because he's been fouling out of games. When Bam missed the season, when Bam missed a couple games last year, when he missed that month because of his thumb, they said Bam can't win it because he missed too many games. That's what they said, why they didn't give it to Bam, why Bam wasn't in it, right? That's what they said. But now JJ's in it after missing all these games. It doesn't make no sense. And then defense, like Draymond said, is defense all about blocks? Like that's what we're doing now? Like a guy just sit in the corner, sit off a man, and then come across with his help and then block a ball like out of nowhere and get 2 blocks a game, and that's what you call defense? Put him out on the perimeter and switch somebody a guard onto him. What is he gonna do? That's what defense, all of this, supposed to be made up of. What is he gonna do when you switch somebody else, not a slow center onto him? What does his stats look like when he's guarding outside the paint without getting those 2 blocks per game? What is defensive percentage look like? Because even Whiteside in Miami, right, when he was getting all them blocks, he made our defense horrible. He made our not because, but like all this talk and Batman in the conversation is just ridiculous to me. It's just, but like you said, Claxton have developed a lot. He's been playing good. Take nothing away from him. He worked on his free throw, but all this defensive player of the year conversation, I ain't having this, bro. I'm not having it. I'm not hearing it.
I think it's because of it's Brooklyn. There's
in the promotion and
media.
Yeah. And the thing, bro, Miami, the Heat, they don't do a good job of promoting Bam, bro. It's ridiculous, bro.
So because the thing about it is Miami, like it's a one of the major cities, in the US, isn't it? So like you think, it is, but like it's interesting, man, because I'll be real, like whenever there's I'm watching an NBA game, I generally lean towards watching the Nets because of KD, Kyrie. Like it's more fun to watch them, and then obviously time as well, because it's like Eastern Conference, you can switch on the game at midnight as opposed to 3:00 in for the Western, right? But I tend to watch their games. If the Celtics aren't playing, I tend to watch the Nets games just generally, right? Just because I want to see what's going on. And when I've watched Nick Claxton this season, right, I'm saying to myself, this is a guy who a couple of seasons ago, you didn't even think he was going to get into this, become a star. Like, I looked at it and I was like, Steve Nash is holding this guy back, or he's held this guy back when you look at what he's done this season, just being a starter, in that center position. And like, they were struggling in that center position, the Nets as well. You saw Andre Drummond came in for that season. LaMarcus Aldridge was kind of like switching in between 4 and 5, like, in his time as well. Blake Griffin was also kind of deputizing in there a little bit, which is it was weird. Like they were going small ball at times with Steve Nash. It was crazy. So to see somebody, a center who was coming off the bench and contributing in his own way, like, you know, he's very aggressive at the rim. You know, he's you know, putbacks. He was doing a lot of putbacks when he was coming off the bench, just finishing off opportunities. But now you're seeing other points to his game, and it's kind of testament to him in terms of the work he's doing in the gym. I'm sure he's getting a lot of help from KD and Kyrie because they're experienced guys. You have to get their knowledge to be able to improve your game for sure if you're working with them every single day. And like, you know, in terms of the talk of him being defensive player of the year, maybe it's a bit premature in my opinion. Like he needs to be able to do more consistently over the course of the season. But right now he's doing pretty well. But like I do think it has a lot to do with because of the market he's in. Because he's playing for Brooklyn and he's around stars and it's New York, like it's just there's a lot of eyes on you, so they're gonna try and put you up in that pedestal. Yeah, and I agree that, you know, maybe the criteria has changed, like, and it may be changing from season to season because when I look at last season, Marcus Smart winning that first guard to win it since Gary Payton, right? Like defensively as a team, we were playing ultra defensive basketball, right? And him being the guard, he's like the heart and soul of the team. And so you saw what he was doing when he was coming off those switches, and he keeps switching onto the guard that was, or whoever handled the ball at the time. Like he was doing very well in that regard. And maybe the criteria is shifted again because now we've gone back to looking at the centers again and like trying to put who's number one out of the top 5 or whatever. Like it's kind of crazy to see. But I do think he ends up as one of the all NBA first or second teams. We'll just see how that ends up at the end of the season. But I think he'll be part of that. In terms of who's going to be defensive player of the year, it depends on who's the most consistent from now to the end of the season.
Lala, come here.
But you know, it is what it is. But Chino, you ran away. But we're about to move on to the next topic right now. I need you to give me the rundown on Miami's fourth quarter, you know, comeback against the Celtics. I was watching the game and I was like, I want to message Chino because, you know, we're battering you like in this third quarter. And I was like, yeah, let me message my man. And then I was like, nah, let me chill. And then I seen JT go off the court at the start of the fourth, and then we was only about 5 ahead of them. And I was like, yeah, nah, this is gonna be peak because he's tired, bro. You can tell. We just is a back-to-back, just gone to beat. We just lost to Orlando the night before. Come into this game, JT's carried us up until the fourth, sorry. But Bam Adebayo took over in that fourth quarter. And obviously, you made a good comment in our GC. You was like, he should be regarded as an all-star. Obviously, he's not as a starter. But then obviously, we're going to discuss about, you know, the new kind of rules now in regards to the draft and all of that in the next topic. But give me the rundown on the game, my bro. Let me see it from your eyes. I gave you my little rundown from because we were cooking. We just, you know, we got shooters on our team. So, you know, up until the third, we was nice. I was like, all right, cool. We got a nice little 14, 15-point lead there. Wrap the game up, fam. What you saying?
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, like, you might have started the game out firing, and I was like, I'm not watching this. Then I turned it back on, and I was like, okay, we're back in it. Then halftime, third quarter come. I was like, here comes the third quarter again from us. And I'm like in and out watching it, and I'm like, I'm not interested. Like, if this is what you're gonna give me, I'm not interested. But the fourth quarter started, and we kept going back and forth. It turned into a shootout, and yeah. I'm like, listen.
One thing I'll say is Tyler Hero was having an awful game up until the fourth. Like he literally, I think he made 2 from 15 shots in the game at that point, up until the fourth, and then he made a shot that kind of obviously helped with the momentum. Like finally got a nice little floater, you know, in just inside the top of the key. But like, bro, like, so talk to me about Tyler Hero, man. Like, he had an awful game, in the win. Like, what do you think? Obviously, I know Duncan Robinson's injured. He's got a hand injury, so obviously he's out.
That boy been stink.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with that.
That boy Tyler Hero been stink, bro. And man just had a baby too, bro. So I don't know what's up with the baby powers. Like, I thought after you get a newborn, you get that, you know, that newborn baby power. So it looks like his ain't kick in yet because he stink.
But yo, talk to me about Bam, man. Like, took over that fourth quarter, bro. Like, and I watched it, and I got to a point I turned it off, bro. I was like, yeah, you won this game. I need to go to sleep.
Before I talk to Bob, bro, you asked me about error. Error thing is right. His offense is not there at the moment. Shots not falling, and teams are picking on him defensively. So, Spo's a defensive-minded coach. You ain't gonna stay on the court if you know what I'm saying. If you're hurting us defensively, you ain't gonna get much minutes. So, Victor, Dpoy been getting a lot more minutes, like in the closing of games, because Victor got more defense than Arrow. But Bam, yeah, Bam. Shout out to Bam Bam, man. Where you man want to talk all your mess talking about Bam Adebayo, he ain't Nigerian, he ain't this and that, and he's American and burger. Bam. Bam Adebayo is the best African player in the NBA, bro. Don't play with him. No, listen though.
I know someone that will tell you no.
Listen.
And then will say no. And then will tell you that is definitely not true. Embiid.
This conversation been going on what's the name? For one, I know when playoff come, Bam is gonna be on the roster, and he's gonna be in the starting lineup to play. He ain't gonna be injured when playoff time comes. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not all around flopping on the floor, dropping his big fat everybody on people and breaking their legs, tearing ACL, his own teammate ACL. He ain't doing none of that antics. You know what I'm saying? Man just out there hooping. So if you want to offensively, yeah, you can say Embiid get more points because what? He get more touches. And, you know what I'm saying? The Philly, that's his team. But like defensively, Embiid doesn't have a lot of the capability that Bam have, man. But yeah, Bam is anchoring the team. And since Bam been in the league, bro. So like where can I go? Okay, so like backcourt and frontcourt partnership, right? The center and the power forward. Every year since Bam been in the league, he's played with a different power forward.
Yo, that's actually mad. I never knew that.
Miami have not built a team around him to give him the right partnership where him and this person can develop chemistry as a front court partnership. His first year as a starter, so he had Miles Leonard. You remember him, the Jewish Slayer?
Yeah,
he had Miles Leonard.
Yo.
He had Kelly Olynyk. He had PJ Tucker. Who else we had at the four? Who else? And now Caleb Martin. Like,
yo, that is actually wild,
Like, he had not had a steady partnership where, Stephen Clay developed that over time. Other like front court or back court, JT and JB developed their, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have not gave him that end. But what I think now the franchise, because the fans are getting more frustrated with it, because the fans was like saying, "Oh, this is Jimmy team build," but the fans are realizing like, bro, Jimmy sits out like Jimmy's like Martial, bro. 5 games and then he's sitting for 2 weeks and then he's back in for. So the fans are realizing that it's like, nah, bro. This is Bam. Like, we need to start pushing. So the fans been on the franchise's head about it, like making Bam the franchise. So now Spo is talking more about Bam involvement and how much Bam do for the team and how he make us better and all that stuff. Okay. Oh, hold on. Give me. She's having hiccups. Hold on.
That's good. CM, I don't know if you caught the game in any capacity or watched any highlights. But what did you think of what do you think of Bam Adebayo? Like, do you think he deserves to be placed in that all-star conversation? Because obviously Chino watches him a lot more, and so obviously believes in the player a lot based on some of the things he can do. But what do you think like about that situation?
I definitely think so. It's one of them things about Bam, because I think the last time he was an All Star was what, 2020. Yeah, 2020. So it's been a while now, and he has all the tools. Whenever I see Bam here, and we've spoken about the frustrations of
Yeah.
sometimes maybe him not getting the touches offensively, maybe starting the game well and not going on to capitalize on that. But the fourth quarter just showcased yet again, and the whole game really. But that fourth quarter, he was able to off pick and roll, get the ball from a hero or somebody else, mid-range J, or what we see with Embiid when he faces up against his defender, pump fake, like Bam can do that, fade away, mid-range, face up. He can get to the rim as well. And you always see that kind of play when it comes to Bam. A little pick and roll, he'll receive it in the middle of the area, and then drive to the rim or look for that mid range shot or fade away. And he has that in his game. He can facilitate, get assists when his team needs it, and he's had some seasons where he's averaged 5 assists, over 5 assists. So multi-talented player, and definitely if he's given the keys to succeed, he can be a 25-point per game scorer, in my
You,
opinion.
sir. You, sir,
Easily.
CM. You know ball. I like you. I like you. You know ball, my bro. Nah, listen. Go ahead, bro. Keep cooking. Listen, that's every CM is, and this is good from a unbiased standpoint because, but obviously, a lot of people think I'm biased towards Bam, right? And in his early years, like CM said, in 2020, that's when the last time he was an All Star. He did get snubbed in, I think, 21. That's why Jimmy didn't accept it. He did get snubbed. They did snub him, and Jimmy got picked. And Jimmy's like, "Nah, if Bam ain't coming, I ain't going because Bam deserved to be here." But listen, like CM said, give him the keys. And there's years I used to complain about Bam and say he's being a B and he needs to be aggressive, more aggressive, and stop with this dribble handoff, dribble handoff. And I think this year he has taken that responsibility before they even gave him the key. I think he had said he just pretty much because Miami shots were not falling. In the
Yeah.
beginning, the shooters were not hitting nothing. And I think he has said, you know what? F this, man. I'm just gonna go to work. Like F this dribble hand off, give me the ball and get that F out the way. Let me ISO and I'll go to work.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that, and I think someone is in his ears telling him. And I know Bash had said earlier in the season because Bash is one of his mentors. Um, he's gonna tell him a lot of the things he's seen from the TV. Like Bam as a center, he's 6'10" as a center, and he's fast. He's pretty fast as a center. Embiid, Jokic.
Oh, Chino, you've gone in the middle of his
Ah,
point. In the middle of his point as well. I know he's about to make a good point. He was gonna make a good point. I already know, like what he was gonna say as well. Chino, when you come back in,
I
we'll let you.
literally saying I have 5 fucking bars and the shit's loading. Like it's fucking like this is
Hey,
ridiculous.
you gotta come off the phone
Oh,
though, bro. You
I'm back.
gotta get on the laptop or something, bro. You
Oh
or
yeah,
the iPad, bro. I can't lie,
me too,
because
bro.
you would just
But
be with the Wi-Fi, fam.
I know, man, this thing's crazy. But real quick though, these guys like Rudy Gobert, they can't keep up with Bam. Like if Bam go in the post, get the ball, post up, quick drop step, spin off them. He's quicker than them. He's too quick. So it's either they're gonna foul him, he's too quick and athletic. So I think he's realizing a lot of this stuff. And then you put a smaller guy on him, like a smaller body center, he's too powerful. He's gonna body them. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's realizing like, yo, you gotta use what you have. And like if you watch Bam, like if you seen him in that fourth quarter, bro, he's pure, bro. Like he's pure when he's hooping, bro.
Mm.
Like he could just hoop. If Spo just tell him just hoop, I'm telling you, Miami will go places. But we do need to get him a partnership, bro. We
Yeah.
need a four, bro, that's gonna be around for a while. I'm hearing names in like the Little Heat group chat that I'm in that's low based out of Miami and stuff. Like Nas Reed, you know Nas Reed?
Yeah, that was really yeah.
But yeah, like cause he's young, 22, I think.
Mhm.
Like I'm hearing these type of names. That will be good. Something he can develop on, bro. No 30-something-year-old old man that come in for 1, 2 season and then gone again, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bam's the truth, man. But what now? You quick, Roland. You man said Time Lord, like Time Lord. Like, I hate
That
that name
you see,
so much.
Time Lord, yeah. Nah, but
I hate.
Time Lord is the thing about him is that he's a good shot blocker. That's it. Like he's elite at that, but then that's it. There's not really much to his game. He does dribble handoff and then stays out of the play. He gets out of the way. Like I want to see a bit more from that package, but I don't think he's got it. Like I want to see him at least hit some mid ranges. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe try to hit a little hook shot or something when he gets into that paint or something. But like he really don't have it as part of his package. And I don't know what's gonna be on the development
Bro,
side for him. What's his plan in it?
his package is standing in the dunker spot. JT and JB drive the defense, crush they lob it up to him, bro.
I
That's
mean,
his package.
you know what I'm saying? Whereas like when I look at Bam, I'm like that fourth quarter as well was just like it just kind of like everything that you said, I saw it in that, and that's why I turned it off because I was like, bro, I don't want to see this because I know Chino's good. I know Chino's loving it.
I
Like
couldn't
he
wait
took
to message you.
he took the ball in that fourth quarter and said, "It's mine. Everyone get out of my way." As you said, like I saw him drive to the hoop and dunk. I seen a few mid-range shots as well from himself, a couple fadeaways. Like I was just like, this is the player that Chino's been talking about, and I'm seeing it right now in this fourth quarter. But he doesn't do it as often as he should, right? And so there's gonna have to be a bit of a balance on both sides. Spo's gonna actually have to loosen the reins for him, and he's actually gonna have to take more responsibility because right now the team needs leaders, isn't it? And he is one of them because he's been a mainstay in that team from the beginning of his time there. So yeah, it's interesting, man. And obviously, like you also made an interesting point, Chris Bosh giving him some advice on the side and stuff. I'm sure he's getting advice from the actual D Wade, you know what I'm saying, as well. And yeah, I'm sure he's soaking all that game in, and hopefully, you know, that continues to just kind of get into his ear and into his head so he can do that. And in regards to the All-Star snub, the politics, you know, it's politics, bro. Like it is very much politics across the board because you know we're gonna speak on it now because there's been some snubs and here and there, and there's some inclusions in the starting team and all of that. So we'll move on to that now, but you know, it's politics in regards to Bam not being considered as an all-star, despite the fact that his statistics this season should put him in that position. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's move on. So obviously the NBA All-Star Weekend is coming very, very soon. We'll be covering some stuff regarding it on the channel, of course. Like we did last year, we had a lot of fun. With all the man them just coming through for the streams. There were late streams, but there were some good streams. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of jokes and stuff. It was fun.
Nah, that Duncan.
It did, yo.
Bad.
It was a bad. The dunk contest was bad. It was so bad. I want some real G's, man. But like, I know Jar's not gonna do it. I don't know that confirmed, but I just don't think he's gonna do it. I don't see Zion doing it. I don't see AG doing it. I don't see Zach Levine doing it. Like they've already done it before. Like you know what I'm saying, he's won it as well. So it's like I don't know who's doing it, who's lining up for it, but I hope it's just some guys that really know how to dunk, man. Because otherwise, it's just gonna be trash again. And I don't want to see no gimmicks. I want to just see man like actually dunk. I don't want to see man trying to dunk in Tim's. Like what's his name? Kawhi. He had his father's old Knicks jersey on and Tim's like I don't want to see that.
Hey,
yo,
the real quick before I just saw this pop up. Real quick before we go on to the All-Star.
Yeah.
You know who been having a damn good season that we didn't even mention in this in here? Who? Aaron Gordon. for the Nuggets, and it shows in their record being
Mm.
um that top of the West.
Yeah.
He has been hooping. But
Mm.
yeah, he should be in the dunk contest too. No, I think man's fed up though.
Yeah, AG, yeah, AG's had, yeah, you're right. AG's had a really good season. I can't lie to you. He's had a really good season, honestly. Like, it's one of his best in recent years. And yeah, you're right. It's contributed to them being top of the West. But he did say that he would, if they called him, he would do it. He did say he would do the dunk contest if they called him. So if if the NBA give him a call, he will do it. So we might get to see some vintage stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure he's got something else in his package in that. But yeah, let's move on to the All-Star weekend, right? So a new piece has been kind of cooked up by the NBA. So the All-Star draft will be taking place before the actual game takes off. But then obviously we've seen the starters announced yesterday for both East and West, and I'm gonna go through them now before we actually get into the question. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna go on my phone. So starters for the East: Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyrie Irving, and Donovan Mitchell. Guys, give me your opinion on that starting five. Are every single player in that five worthy of their position?
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
who
tough.
name it?
I'll name it again for you, Chino. Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyrie Irving, and Donovan Mitchell.
Hmm. You want me to go first, CM?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Go on, Chino.
Yeah, I think everybody deserves this spot. I mean, you could say, yeah, Giannis is not a center. Embiid should be there, but nah, like Giannis deserves his spot, KD deserves his spot. But it's sad again, man. Another year and KD's gonna miss the All Star game with injuries, bro.
Uh
Like it's been the
They,
last
they,
what
they, they
5
did
years.
say that he's back. He's back. Nah, I saw something about he's recovering well, so maybe he might.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
give up.
It's a bit peak, second year in a row. We don't see no KD hooping in this All Star game. It's a bit peak. I can't lie. I
and
can't
and
lie.
and you know, there's another stat to do with KD as well. You see him and LeBron. I think they haven't faced off in like 3 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Like actually, like faced off,
yeah,
like facing
on
like
the
on the
court.
court.
Because
Yo, in 3 years,
every time there's been injuries, there's been other issues that have just stopped them. It's mad, man.
right? So obviously there's been talk of obviously Embiid snubbed for the
Yeah.
start role. JB's had a really good season as well. Jaylen Brown as well.
Mm.
Um, like what do you think of the team, bro? Like the starters, because everyone looks like they deserve the spot. I think so. You know,
Me too.
I think so. I don't think that there's any real kind of like contentious decisions. I think it's more on the Western side that we could speak on it, but on the East, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I think every year there's always gonna be, a couple people feel like their players are snubbed or deserve to be starters. But in the end of the day, an All Star is a great achievement, and I think these guys who are starting deserve it. You look at all of them, KD, Kyrie. I think there's a stat saying those are the only two. The Brooklyn Nets are the only team with, I think, two All Stars or two All Star starters or something along the lines of that. Giannis obviously having a good season with the Bucks. Donovan Mitchell, we all know about him in the Cavs, and JT and the Boston Celtics bouncing back from losing in the finals. So yeah, they all deserve it in my opinion.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were kind of surprised maybe at the Kyrie Irving inclusion over JB because of the season that JB's been having.
Are you mad?
People have been complaining,
Uh,
not me necessarily, but people have been complaining, like,
it's
and
le-
I've been seeing it. I've been
real
seeing it
quick.
on Celtics Twitter, innit? So
I've seen it too. You're not wrong. It's it's the hate they have for this man is ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
It's Kyrie Irving's. I've been having an immense season, bro.
Mhm.
Like I know JT been doing his thing, bro, but like don't get it twisted. Kyrie have been hooping, bro.
Yeah, he's moving.
On the low, like
Trust me.
he is
I watch
absolute.
their games. I see it, bro. I can't lie, bro.
Like he is nasty with it, bro. And the thing is, I don't want to talk about it for too long because I'm gonna get angry because they won't trade a fat piece of stinking Lay's fat piece of
And
shit for Kyrie
I knew
Irving,
this was gonna
bro.
come
And
at least one
Yes.
point during the show, fam.
ridiculous, bro. It is ridiculous, bro. They won't trade a fat pig bacon like he
Hey,
doesn't, bro. You saw the video I sent you, right?
Yeah. Go get your whopper, fam. Oh nah. All right, Western Conference now. The starters. So we've got Zion Williamson, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Luka Doncic. Bro, give me the rundown on that Western Conference starters.
I think it's an interesting team. Obviously, LeBron, we know what he's doing this season. Steph having one of the best years of his career, despite Golden State's position, he's
Yeah.
going off. Jokic, we all know about him, MVP candidate, first, up there in the Western Conference, so they're doing really well in that team. I think Zion Williamson was the surprising one to everybody in this one because even though he's been having a good season, the Pelicans have had a good year when healthy. He spent a little time off now, and maybe people are saying should he have been a starter potentially, maybe not. So who do you guys potentially think could have replaced him or anybody else on that starters list?
I mean, Sabonis was one that he had a really good season with the Kings. I can't lie. So he missed out, which it's a bit touch and go. There was talk about AD, but I was like, I don't think AD. He had a run of games. It was like 8 in a row where he was healthy and he was putting up numbers and playing really well, but it's not enough to consider him a starter. That's where the politics come in. Why is his name even in there? When you know what I'm saying? John Morant, he's had a great season himself, and once again, it's politics. You gotta have LeBron James and Steph Curry whilst they're still here in that team. Luka has to be in that team. So then the spot is gone. Literally, you don't have a guard. You can't have a guard position when Steph's there. You know what I mean? So it's interesting.
But it's the fans, though.
Yeah. So
Fans
yes,
vote for the
the fans
starters.
vote. The fans.
And that's what Chuck was saying, though. Chuck was saying, take it away. He's kind of being a dickhead.
He's a hater. He's a big hater, man.
You said you gave them the opportunity to vote, and you see what they did for the country, what they voted for the country.
Nah. Chuck is mad, fam.
But yeah, it's the fans. It's the fans. That's the only reason why. Even Bam, bro. Bam wasn't even in the top 10, bro, in the fan voting.
I mean,
he's only about to make it because of the players that vote.
Yeah.
The GMs and media, bro. That's the only reason why he's in there.
Because I mean, even LaMelo Ball was voted above Trey. What's his name? I forgot his name. Trey Young. Yeah, sorry. He voted above Trey Young by the fans, like 3 places above, which is a bit mad. I'm like, bro,
Trey Young garbage.
He has, but he's not above. LaMelo is not above him this season, though, because even LaMelo, he's been injured bad this season. He ain't played. So how? We ain't even seen him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, all right. So then this new little thing now where the draft is taking place live before the game. What do you guys think of it? Does it add to the excitement or is it unnecessary?
I think it's cool. It depends how it's executed. I feel like the last few years with the All-Star game, Adam Silver, the NBA has been trying to change it up to see if they could make it more entertaining. I think in the first year when they changed the rules originally, in the All-Star game itself, it kind of worked. but then it filtered down and kind of the momentum kind of slowed down once again. So I just think in this day and age, it might be hard to get a really entertaining, competitive, ultra competitive All Star game. I think players are mindful of wanting to stay healthy for the rest of the season and the campaign and the playoffs that come after that. So maybe we won't be seeing that anymore, and it's more so just entertaining those guys taking it easy, and it's going to be more of a celebration of just being there rather than being there and competing to win that game like what we used to see back in the days. But yeah, look, we'll have to see what happens. Of course, it adds a bit of drama because it's almost like, hey, on the day you come here, it's like when you're at school, for example, everybody's lining up on the fence, and you got the two captains saying you pick me. Nobody wants to be the last pick, and in that regard, that makes it a little cool because it's almost relatable in that sense. But yeah, we'll hopefully it's gonna be a good game, good All-Star weekend this year. But when it comes to the game, there are those kind of reservations by the players in terms of going 100%.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to our last but one topic. There's been a trade within between the Washington Wizards and the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Lakers have sent their 2023 Chicago second round pick, their own 2029 second round pick, and the Wizards / Lakers less favorable second round pick in 2028 in a trade for Kendrick Nunn going to the Wizards in exchange for Rui Hachimura going the other way to the Lakers. Now, what's your thoughts on it, first and foremost, and who's won this trade or who do you think is going to win this trade in the end? Does it help the Lakers with that? Because I seen Kendrick Nunn go out on his debut. I seen him go out for a dunk. I was like, where's this come from, bruv? Because we ain't seen this in LA. But anyway, I'll say what I'll say afterwards.
Don't let him fool you, bro. He can't fool me.
Yeah, because Chino, you're interested one because obviously he played for your team, and then you traded into the Lakers. Yeah,
he's rubbish. No, we didn't trade him.
No, he didn't trade him. He was free agent.
We just didn't re-sign him. He's rubbish.
So yeah, I'll let Chino kick off on this one, bro. Like, so this trade, like, what's your thoughts on it? And then, does it help the Lakers? What's happening? But let me know. Chino's gone again.
Like,
you back? He's gone.
They hit him.
They got him again. They got him again. See him. Give me the rundown, fam. Give me the rundown.
Yeah. It was mad with Ken. Oh, Chino's back.
He's back. You back?
Last show, man, the internet was, man, I'm not even knowing, bro. Like, this thing is pissing me off. Kendrick Nunn sucked, though. Don't let him fool you, bro. He's rubbish, bro. Absolute rubbish. I think the Lakers got a good one, man. Ochishuma, whatever his name is. The Lakers definitely won that pick. And Kendrick Nunn, it was just a roster filler, bro. He was just a roster filler, and to get him off the Lakers roster, like. And I think the Lakers are not done yet. I do see them making more moves. Probably see like a Pat Bev. I don't know why they traded for him in the first place. I think they probably wanted to get rid of THT contract.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they traded for Pat Bev. But I could see them getting rid of Pat Bev and bringing. I don't think they're done yet. And then Schroeder been hooping too.
Yeah, he has.
Like, you have Schroeder hooping, you have Russ off the bench. You don't really need Pat Bev.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Lakers definitely won that trade for me.
See him? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you trade a guard, you have a few guards so you can kind of get rid of him. And then Hachimura, he's a guy who, he's a good corner 3-point shooter, which he's going to be getting a lot of those shots in LA. You bring in a guy with a bit of length, pause, and potential to improve defensively. But yeah, it's a good move. He's a good young player. I think in his first game he scored 12 off the bench. So he's gonna be a welcome contributor to that side. And Rob Pelinka even said, "Look, it's a good start, but we're not done. There's a lot of changes to be made on this roster to try and salvage a playoff spot, try and get back into the playoff picture for LA because they're still a few games behind. So expect a lot of work to be done on that roster in the coming days, weeks, leading up to the trade deadline. It's going to be really interesting, to be fair. But so far, so good. I think they won this trade. They got rid of Kendrick Nunn, who can be a little inconsistent. I remember all those years when he was in Miami, and it's because I believe he was undrafted and he was having that good year, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out with him in terms of elevating his game on a consistent basis. So maybe he can go over to Washington and do something there, maybe prove a few people wrong. I know Cheetah won't agree with that one, but yeah, good trade for Rui Hachimura. And hopefully for LA, that's a guy who they can look, because they'll be looking to re-sign him at the end of the year when he's a restricted free agent, and maybe they can develop him with the core that they already have, or the core that they will be looking to build for the future.
Yeah, that's true, because they're looking to sign him to an extension at the end of the season, because he's going to be a restricted free agent, as you said. So yeah, like, he's a young player, so there's room to develop. I just didn't think I thought he would have had an opportunity to do so in Washington. It's also very funny to see Kyle Kuzma react to it as well, like, where like he wants to go back to LA, but is that time's probably gone now. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Hachimura actually develops and learning from the likes of LeBron, obviously. And yeah, it should be a good piece to start off their kind of slight rebuilding job that they got to do in the middle of the season. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Rob Pelinka and their front office has got to do towards this trade deadline. As for Kendrick Nunn, after failing a couple of franchises, maybe he can find himself a home in Washington, link up with the likes of Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis to kind of potentially build something over there. I mean, not to win anything, but just like for his own career and his own sake and everything like that. But yeah, it's pretty clear that the Lakers won that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get into some comments, and then we've got a small tribute to Kobe and Gigi to wrap this up. So just give me 1 second. Arman saying, "Where's the man with the Embiid agenda?" Enen's on lockdown. I don't know where he is right now. If I can't lie to you. 5 games for Marshall, gets injured after 5 minutes. Big up Brush as well. Like, share, subscribe. Glazers out.
Brush with the Glazers out.
So salutes to the Aubameyang. Hey, Brush with the Glazers out means that the end is near, fam. That's all I'm saying. This man just saying that you got dial up internet. Cheeto. And he said they didn't want none of that Pat beverage. Well, I mean, sorry to finish on a bit of a somber note and all of that, but obviously it's marked 3 years since Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi Bryant lost their life in that helicopter crash. And I thought it was kind of, timing the show just made it important for us to kind of just do a small tribute. So I'm just going to play a video for you guys and for those that will be watching later as well, just to kind of show and pay our respects to their families, and obviously there was other families that lost important family members as well in the crash as well. So just going to play this video now.
And being married to my wife Vanessa, it's fun. I mean, we have a good time together. I love her tremendously. But we're best friends too. It's a blessing. When we're raising our daughters, and one of the things that we teach them is you just got to try your best. You just got to give it your all, give it everything you have. As parents, you got to lead by example. If you want your kids to do whatever it is they want to accomplish in life, you have to show them. I have 4 girls, so my mission is to make sure women have opportunities. our daughters will grow up understanding that they can be strong, they can be independent, they can be fierce. I just love spending time with my family and just being a husband, being a father, being a goofball, just having a good time with my kids.
Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in there just as a small tribute to Kobe and Gigi. Obviously, after that tragic loss 3 years ago and all of that. I don't really think there's anything to say on that. You know what I'm saying? I think that just kind of sums it up pretty perfectly. The man and who he was to his family and everything like that. And it's good to see that the family are at least kept strong over this period of time and stayed as a unit, because obviously how it is with high profile people. Sometimes families could break apart because of it. So it's good to see that they're all at least coping and all of that after such a devastating loss. But we're going to end the show here. I want to say thank you to everybody who's joined in with the chat, man. We appreciate all the comments and everything in the chat as well. Appreciate it so much. I want to say thank you to the guys as well, man. Obviously, we keep on this NBA show. We keep this thing running, man. Like, it's been pretty fun to do for this season as an addition. So big up to CM and Chino. I'm gonna let them shout themselves out before we get out of here. CM, kick us off, bro.
Yes, people, as always, you can find me at CM22ENT on YouTube, on Twitch, and also CM22, where I'll be doing additional watch-alongs and stuff like that. So check me out on all socials. You know where to find me. Make sure you subscribe to Pros Only Sports. Like the video, subscribe. United State of Mind episodes. 2 episodes this week as well. And I'm sure many more to come. So be sure to check them out. Man like Chino's going to be having content coming soon. Support all the man them, obviously. Furbs, Rich, all the guys, man. Big up Brush, Manj, Drizzy, everybody. R-Man, Super Nick, everybody that's been in the chat over the course of this episode.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna big up Super Nick? What a pagan. Big up Super Nick, man. Thank you for coming.
Wait, what? Oh, Chino, wait, what?
No, I'm messing with him.
Hold on. I'm gonna square up on you, Chino.
I'm gonna square
up like
listen, I hear him big up everybody except for Super Nick, I was kind of hurt. I was hurt. Nah, I'm messing with him, man. That's how we go get on. Yeah, man, big up everybody, like CM saying, big up all the man them in the chat. Big up Super Nick, best person in her household. Yeah. But yeah, man, where to find us. CM22ENT, Pros Only Sports on all socials. Just hit us up, man. And yeah, people, that's it. That's the end of the show. See you guys next week.
Come on. Yes, but as Chino said, we'll see you guys next week. We might be doing it a bit differently, maybe not on a Friday, but on a Thursday evening. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll make sure there's an update on the channel as well, so you guys can see the updated schedule for that. But yeah, we'll be back next week with a lot more topics to discuss. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff right there. And we're out, people. Peace.